In the city of New York, there were 8 gangsters with a passion for gambling. They had all grown up in poverty, and had clawed their way to the top of the criminal underworld through cunning and ruthlessness. They were all addicted to the game of Monopoly, and used it as a way to make money and gain power. The first was John the Banker Smith. He was the most successful player of Monopoly in the city, and he had amassed a fortune from his games. He ran a tight ship, and anyone who crossed him would quickly regret it. Next was Tony the Landlord Russo. He was a master of property management, and owned the most valuable properties in the game. He was known for his quick temper and his willingness to use violence to get what he wanted. Then there was Maria the Entrepreneur Rodriguez. She was the only woman in the group, but she was every bit as tough as the men. She owned a chain of hotels and casinos, and used her wealth and connections to further her business interests. The fourth member of the group was James the Strategist Lee. He was the brains behind the operation, and was always analyzing the game board to find the best moves. He was quiet and reserved, but had a sharp mind and a ruthless streak. Next was Alex the Enforcer Johnson. He was the muscle of the group, and was responsible for making sure that debts were paid and enemies were dealt with. He was feared by all who knew him, and was never afraid to get his hands dirty. The sixth member of the group was Jack the Collector Davis. He was responsible for collecting debts from those who owed the gang money. He was a master of intimidation, and used his imposing size and menacing presence to get what he wanted. Then there was Frank the Fixer Reynolds. He was the man who made sure that the games were rigged in the gang's favor. He had connections with crooked politicians and law enforcement officials, and used them to keep the gang one step ahead of the law. The final member of the group was Sarah the Wildcard Jackson. She was the newest member of the gang, but she had quickly made a name for herself with her unpredictable and erratic behavior. She was a loose cannon, but the gang needed her skills as a distraction and a diversion. Together, the 8 gangsters were an unstoppable force. They had built a criminal empire on the back of their addiction to Monopoly, and had no intention of slowing down. But their success had made them complacent, and they began to make mistakes. One night, as they were playing a high-stakes game of Monopoly, they were ambushed by a rival gang. They fought back fiercely, but were outnumbered and outgunned. Alex was killed in the shootout, and several others were injured. The gang realized that they had become too comfortable, and that their addiction to Monopoly had blinded them to the dangers around them. They decided to lay low for a while, to regroup and rebuild. Over the next few months, they worked to strengthen their relationships with their allies, and to eliminate any potential threats. They also started to diversify their interests, investing in legitimate businesses and forging new partnerships. Finally, they emerged from their hiding place, stronger and more focused than ever before. They continued to play their games of Monopoly, but now they did so with a renewed sense of purpose. They were no longer just playing for fun or profit, they were playing for their legacy. In the end, the gangsters retired from their life of crime, each one leaving behind a legacy of their own. John became a successful banker, Tony a real estate tycoon, Maria a philanthropist.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தது அப்படினா சேனலை லைக் பண்ணுங்க,
சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, மறக்காம அந்த பெல் ஐகானை பிரஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you, bye.